Number one, I do want to thank our fans who showed up. They did a great job, a lot of cheering. And that was awesome. Our band was there, our cheerleaders were there. You know, people love this program. A lot of our Golden Canes and other boosters came, former players came. Just a lot of people that love this program were here, and I want to say thank you to everybody. Of course, the field was phenomenal. This is an unbelievable venue, and then you walk out on that grass, and it's as sweet as it gets. Looks like artificial turf out there. It's so pristine, but we appreciate the grounds crew for that. We're also very thankful that there was no injuries. Vinny Scavo came to me, our head trainer, and said there's nothing that resembled an injury on the field, which is a blessing. We've had very little of that, which is great. If you kind of understood the format, the team that Malik was on most of the time was the 1-0 versus the 1D. Didn't get much going, had a couple plays here and there, had a couple well-executed plays. Malik really probably didn't get much of a shot to really stand back in there and sight some things up and make some throws. He did pretty good with what he had. I mean, if the stats were right, he was like 9 for 14, something like that. You know, which was fine. And I thought he was. I can't think of many balls that were kind of thrown up for grabs. I know we had a pick on a deep shot, which will happen from time to time. And but you know, number one defense was stout up front. Couldn't really get much run going. Couldn't consistently form a good pocket. And they tackled well. I didn't see many missed tackles at all, if any, which was a great sign. Number 2-0, you know, had some good moments, scored some points, had a little excitement here and there, and you know, with Nkosi getting some of those, and of course Jaron getting some of those, they did a nice job, and it's good to see. You know, they've got the skill set that they need to compete at this low, and they got to just keep learning and knowing what to do, and they'll continue to, you know, push Malik. My guess is if either one of those guys was with the number one unit, they probably had a hard night too. So you got to take that in consideration when we're grading film and things like that. Our edge pressures, you know, when I'm talking about it, not necessarily blitzes, but our edge players, a little, really so far this spring have been a little too much for our tackles right now. We probably, I mean, if I was going to play a game against us, I'd be using tight ends and backs to chip on the way out to help. We don't do a lot of that in the spring because we want guys to learn how to protect without the help. But you know, guys like that probably need to chip a little bit. Now I started to do that towards the end when I got tired of not being able to step up and throw it. You know, Shaq stands out. Pinckney stands out. They should. Gerald Willis all summer, I mean all spring has been really good. Mike Jack has been playing great. Jaquan, you know, hasn't been playing a lot because of some class he has for graduation, but when he shows up and is added to the mix, it's great. You know, our corners are they're what you're looking for. You know, just about every one of them are tall, they're long, they're athletic, they got ball skills. And then you got Bandy, is not quite as tall as everybody else, but he can jump out the gym, and he's probably the most fierce competitor we got, or one of them. You know, I think our experiment with the striker position has been a really good one. You know, good for us. So that's about all I can think of right now. So you guys can ask what you want.
Mark, you obviously have some really good defensive ends. Are you disappointed with?
They're good pass rushers, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, in pass protection, are you disappointed with how the offensive line is developed? Are you kind of underwhelmed by them at this point?
Well, it's mostly on the edge, really. I mean, do we have any true tackles out there right now? I don't know. Is Tyree a true left tackle? You know, he's there now, and he gives us our best shot right now, and I think he can. I think he is. You know, is Navon gonna be? I think so. I think he's already highly motivated to get his weight down some. You know, he can be heavier as a guard, but he's got to trim down. He's already doing it. In a week's time, he's already dropping weight, getting extra cardio and everything. He's energized to play that position. He's got a chance to play tackle, which I think is what he's always wanted to play. Reminds me of a guy named Cordy Glenn I had at Georgia. He played guard in the beginning. He went to right tackle for a minute. And his senior year, he jumped over to left tackle and was one of the early players drafted in the second round. And I guess he was with Buffalo Bills for years and got traded recently somewhere, Cincinnati or something like that. But I think he's got that skill set, similar skill set, and I think he'll end up being just fine. And like I said, if we run into guys we just struggle and protect them, then we'll find ways to help them out. But I really don't like to do that in the spring because I just want to see what those guys can do without the help. Because we're better by free releasing people than we are having to chip on the way out. It slows us down and doesn't stretch defenses as much as you'd like. And then when we do step up in the pocket, we got to be firm. And for the most part, I thought the pocket was fairly firm inside. There might have been a couple times we got bull rushed by Gerald here and there, but we just got to make sure we get the right five and we look them all this summer, and then in the fall camp we got to go do it.
What do you have to say about the play of Jonathan Garvin today overall?
Well, Garvin, I'm standing back there, I'm calling plays and watching, and Garvin he has great get off. The coaches use that term, get off, meaning when that ball snapped, he's gone, and he's either beating the tackle or it's a tie at best when he's gone because he times it up so well. So he's got speed off the edge, and then guys that are tall, some of them don't bend real good, can't really turn the corner as well as he can turn the corner. So just the speed rush, once you got a speed rush, then you get that tackle concerned about that, and then you go outside and under, or you may go, we call it a speed to power move, where you go speed around the edge, and your tackle's kind of back on his heels, and then you just power through the guy and push him right into the quarterback. And he's developing all those types of moves. I can't really say how he's held up at the point of attack, but certainly not anybody's just been having their way with him from a physical run standpoint either. So he's doing great. Joe Jackson's doing great. I like what Rousseau's doing. I like what Patchen's doing. Those four guys, pretty darn good football players.
Mark, how would you assess the quarterback race right now, and specifically, and is it tighter than it was last week?
Well, I like how the younger guys are competing, and they're making some plays. I think all of them, given the right amount of time in the pocket and open receivers, can do pretty good. It's hard to say until I watch the film, but to me, I was standing back there. Whoever the number one quarterback was tonight was going to have a hard time. So I can't sit there and downgrade Malik for a lot of things that happened because there just wasn't an opportunity a lot of times to show what he could do.
Coach, I know there's still a couple of practices left, but do you think the team is where you wanted to see it at this point in the spring, at the spring game?
Well, the big thing is trying to get the right guys in the right spot. And, it starts with the offensive line on offense. The receivers, you learn the outside lane, you learn an inside lane, you can learn two positions. Once you get going, tight ends are tight ends, there's not much to that. We got a guy like DJ Dallas who is a running back, can play receiver, can play Wildcat QB and all that kind of stuff. But we got to make sure we got the right five linemen ready to go and have a lot of reps together. They had 2 days together with this new lineup, and that's tough. And so we've got to set the top five and let these guys work together all summer, all fall, and get ready for the season because you just got to have a cohesive unit. And right now, we're still trying to find answers, and we think we've got the right answer. It's just going to take a little time for Devon to be the tackle that we know he can become, and I think Mahoney. There are a couple guys still coming in that'll compete with those guys, but I think Mahoney will do a nice job for us. He's smart, he's tough, he cares. He knows what to do.
In the scenarios that they were in, obviously, some of the freshmen, again, came up big. Rousseau with his sacks, Hightower with the touchdowns. How do you think those guys just, you were wondering how they do in front of a crowd. They were out there.
Yeah, it was fun to watch them, and some of the simplest things to do in football are rush the passer and run a takeoff. run a go ball, you know. So we were throwing go balls out there, and we were letting them rush the passer and you know, let their talent take over, and didn't get too crazy with a lot of precision routes and things of that nature. But you know, we really couldn't hold the ball long enough to do some of the route concepts I'd like to be able to do. So, but it was fun to watch him make plays, and it's great to see Gilbert wear the turnover chain. You know, I mean, he's such an awesome kid. He's such a great Miami guy. You know, Ivy the same way. Those two corners, you know, we're blessed to have them. I don't know if you've seen them up close, but they're tall, they're muscular, they're fast. They got great ball skills. They can tackle, and they're just getting started. It's going to be fun to watch them.
Did Manny let you know the turnover chain was coming today?
Well, I'm the one that told him to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I said you ought to bring it out, and you know, I wanted the defense to be on the side where the youth league park kids were, in case there was a couple turnovers, the kids could see the celebration, the fun. So yeah, I felt like it'd be good to do.
Looked like Amari Carter kind of plays like he's on fire.
Amari, he is so physical. I don't know if that was Amari. Somebody looked like they might have had a targeting foul. I don't know if that was him or not, but that wouldn't shock me if that was him. But yeah, he just loves to hit, and he's much better at knowing what to do and how to do it. He's one of the finer kids we got in the program too. We have so many great kids, and he's one of them. He's one of the guys that lead the pack in that category.
Anything else, guys?
You touched on it a little bit, but Brian Hightower, has he flashed like this all spring?
Yeah, I mean, he's had his moments. You know, he has always been a guy, even in the high school tape we see, he's big, he's physical, and he uses his size to his advantage. And, you know, getting ready for a jump ball or whatever it may be, he positions his body well. He doesn't get knocked around. He's been an excellent, not perfect, but he's been an excellent blocker. We throw those bubbles out there, and a lot of times he's the guy, and he's probably done as good or better than anybody out there. So, you know, he's doing some things that give us confidence that, you know, he can play. He can play, and by coming mid-year, he'll know a lot more at the end of the summer.
In addition to, I guess, offensive line, what tops your list of concerns at this point?
I mean, right now, you know, that's number one. Just making sure we got the right guys in the right spot, and then getting after it. I mean, I've known Coach Souls forever. He is not a good line coach. He's a great line coach. All right. I'll say this: when we got here, I thought of all the position groups on the field, that was the one that had the least amount of guys that were ready to be ACC championship caliber guys, and we're still kind of fighting that battle. I love the young guys we got, but it's hard to just come in as a freshman or even a second-year guy sometimes and just be that guy. Offensive line is a developmental position. You want to have the guys stacked enough where, you know, they're starting their third, fourth, or fifth years, you know, and you know, a couple guys are like that, but not enough, not enough. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.